You have a question, my friend? Ask. Don't be shy. Ask question. Sleds. No?
I don't know. I would like to talk about my music a little bit.
Yeah. No, we have to talk about Sleds music.
I think Frida could be there. And we can, I could join in with Frida.
Frida wants to talk about his music.
Yeah, come and
because
join.
I met Frida before.
Yeah. He's even been my MC when I DJ'd in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is your MC?
Well,
Because we didn't speak about his music on the last time. So I promised 10 minutes of him of the music.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about your music, sir.
Okay, let me just take a deep breath. It should be like I'm on the clock.
No, you're not on the clock.
Yeah, and thanks for the interview as well. I've been
No problem.
A lot of people reached out to me to do interviews, and I haven't really done that. I'm a songwriter and I'm a producer and an artist. So when I talked about the songwriting competition in Denmark, I've done a lot of production as well with artists like Devin the Doctor.
Yes.
In Jamaica, a QQ, Razor B. We just put out a project right now. I made a beat which was focused on getting girls to dance again in dancehall, because right now dancehall is very dark. It's just that trap dancehall sound. So everybody wanted to have that kind of vibe. So we just put out that project with Devin the Doctor, Richie Loop as well. Richie Loop.
Yeah.
He did What's in My Cup, Stays in My Cup. That was a big song.
Yeah.
Growing up, and me and Frida, we've met, but we haven't really. We just ran into each other in Sweden again because we have this big event in Denmark called Dancehall Madness.
When is that? When was that?
Ooh, the last one was last year, but before they used to do them a couple of times a year, but then Corona hit and everything, and so then they don't run it the same way as before. But that's where we met the first time, and I was DJing at the event and he was MCing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So she's a good DJ. She's a DJ. I think even right now, female DJs are in demand. I like to see the female DJs because in Jamaica, I think we don't have a lot of that as well. I think if we get a DJ in Jamaica who's a female right now, I think she would really blow up. If she does,
100%.
if she do it anything close to what the men do, I think she would be on top, because I think society is also changing as to where society wants to see females do things that men were kind of designated to do throughout history.
Men was dominating that for a long time. There's a female selector in
Nikki?
Barbie. Do you know her?
I don't know Marby, but I follow Nikki. She's a really good DJ.
Nikki also.
Yeah, she's in Africa at the moment touring and playing music. She's sick.
Have you ever been on a tour? Yeah. Selector tour?
No, not really.
And you said you don't play here in Sweden.
I do from time to time, but same way as when COVID hit and everything, the club scene is not the same. Like we used to have, I used to run a club called Turn Up, like when I just started playing, and they used to play a called Club Honey. I used to be a resident there. There used to be a Caribbean restaurant that I used to be resident as well, but the scene is just not the same. But I play at a lot of like dance events. Like when we ran into each other last time, it was just like an outdoor event, public, for everyone to join.
And as a selector, I have to ask this question, yeah? A lot of guys now confusing dancehall, saying dancehall is dead, reggae is dead, because Afrobeat is totally dominating the genre, the space. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I can't. It's not a lie. It's true.
No, Frida.
No, it is
Frida.
true. Afrobeat is dominant. No, Afrobeat.
And I was just beginning to like
But
you,
no,
Frida.
but listen. It depends on how you see it. Like, there's a lot of good production coming out of Jamaica, but it doesn't come out to the rest of the world to hear it. And it's because the Jamaican system is fuckery. Because you have to kind of go to Canada, America, or Europe to even be able to release your music differently. So they put out the tunes. But I think there's a lot of nowadays new good Jamaican music that I still really enjoy. But then compared to the vibes you were talking before, when you had a one rhythm and you had 20 artists just jumping on it, that culture don't exist no more. So then when you have the Afrobeat vibration with the house sound and all the different influences as well, Europeans and a lot of white culture are gonna connect and get drawn to this automatically differently compared to maybe Skillibeng when he sings, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. The last part makes sense. I think Afrobeats can never compare to reggae. It's only because reggae now is at not a low point. Reggae is just at a standstill with these artists who came up through the COVID era. Because a lot of artists now like Skellebeng, Jashi, and Skeng. These guys just come up through the COVID and they just start singing. They are good in a way, but that's not that's not the dancehall that we know, you see me?
No, I think I think Frida is right. Afrobeat is.
Hell no, you cannot. You are Jamaican, no, you just say that.
I'm Jamaican, but I'm also a realist. I'm on the scene. Afrobeat is dominating dancehall. When you used to go to popular clubs around the world or in Europe, there used to be this 10 to 15 minute segment where you hear the Sean Paul, the Wayne Wonders, and those songs. That's taken up by Afrobeat now. And there's another thing that a lot of people are missing is the tempo of the songs. Afrobeat is 96 to 105 BPM. That's what dancehall used to be, boop, 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 98 BPM. That's where people dance. Dancehall now is at 127, 135 because it's trap. That's why you hear those hi-hats going. So now, a regular person who doesn't have any coordination doesn't know how to dance to this stuff. You have to do routines or you have to know the dance. Afrobeats, you could just show up at a party, get a drink, and you just pretend you're in Africa and you just do a dance. So it's also that Afrobeats has simplified the music again as to where dancehall has become more complicated. It's more about a vibe, like I'm a chopper right now. I mean a choppy line. It's just this is how you dance dancehall right now. You just chop the line. You don't do that. Just a quick one. I went to Germany right before even Ryan King went back to Jamaica and he got shot. He was with my friend DJ King Kenny in Germany. We were supposed to go over.
Oh God, you know King Kenny?
Yeah.
Me as well. Did I interview him? I think I interviewed him.
Yeah.
I have his number.
Yeah, King Kenny. He's always around with I produced probably his best song. This song called Back Fia Ben. He's always called me back to do that song. But he does do a lot of tours with some of those artists when they come to Germany. But I end up stopping at this show in Hamburg. Elephant Man was playing the same night as Ryan King. And the Ryan King show maybe had like 30, 40 people. The reason why is because Elephant Man had the songs that make people dance. That night for me was the contrast of showing where dancehall is and what's working right now. Busy Signal, when those guys come, they book. You can't take a trap artist and bank your money on that right now in Europe. You're gonna lose money because you have the dance schools like people like Frida and those guys. They know about the culture. They've been to Jamaica. They know the songs that are hot. But for a person who just loves dancehall, they can't keep up with the new stuff. So they still have to go back to that stuff that me and you know. And they don't make that stuff anymore. That's why artists like Spice, they will never go cold. Because Spice is always that toop, 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 toop. That's dancehall. Dancehall doesn't have a definitive sound anymore. It's just trap. And we don't have any problem with that. But I will also be honest to you that there's no dancehall songs that are cutting through right now in the mainstream. It's just Afrobeats, bro. It's Burna Boy, Wizkid, CK. The big festival in Malmo a few months ago in the summer. Bro, all Afrobeats artists, not one dancehall artist.
But it didn't used to be like here. Like when I moved to Malmö, we used to have Turbulence, Luton Fire, used to have Sisla, used to have Capleton, Richie Spice. Everyone used to come here and concerts would be sold out. But it's not like that anymore.
What changed? Well, we already talk about what changed. It's the rhythm. It's that trap music. You think it will ever come back to those good times?
It talked. Frida spoke on juggling. That's why juggling is where you put out a rhythm with like 10 artists, 5 artists. That's why the rhythm that I put out was a juggling. Devin the Doctor, Richie
Yeah.
Luke, and those guys.
I never look at it at like that way before because you're right. I will never admit that Afrobeat is killing reggae.
Not reggae.
Dancehall, sorry, not
Dancehall.
reggae, dancehall. I will never say that. I will never say that on camera. But I think it's at a standstill with these newer artists coming out. And I hope these fucking guys in Jamaica will see this because they are killing reggae. I don't think reggae. I don't think dancehall is dying through Afrobeat. I think dancehall is dying, killing them own self. If that makes sense.
No, dancehall is not dying either. I think people have to understand the demographics. You have the diaspora. Dancehall will always be big in the diaspora.
Yeah, down there, in the
Which is
Caribbean.
the England, the London. You go to the New Yorks, the
And
Atlanta,
even Germany.
Germany. Dancehall will always be big because those people are tapped in. What's happening now is that you're seeing that dancehall artists are no longer touring on a wide scale, where they're going into regions like just Croatia or the Czech Republic, even reggae. The
I don't even want to hear this, but it's true.
the band
It's true, I
that won
cannot
the
deny it,
Grammy
it's true.
for reggae was a
It's
band
American.
out of California, and
It's American band. It's bullshit.
the band that kicked Bob Marley off the Billboard charts as #1 was a band out of California as well.
But
It's
they
because-
did have a Jamaican production team behind them who was huge, and that's the only reason why they sound like they sound. And it's sad sometimes because you don't
Sad.
understand how much like Jamaican engineers are actually in America producing these white bands as well, and it's sad that it's not more Jamaican music actually coming out of Jamaica, but in Canada and America you have more opportunities to actually release it on a public platform for everyone to hear. Like in Jamaica, you don't even have Spotify, right?
They just recently rolled out Spotify and Apple Music this year.
Yeah,
in
It's-
like
Jamaica.
I want to put a message to the newer artists in Jamaica. Do good music. Good music will last. Yeah? It will last the test of time. Forget this popcorn music, this TikTok music. You just need views on YouTube, so you're just putting out 10 songs per week. That's bullshit. You have to spend the time going to the studio, make good songs. At the end of the day, good songs will outlast. You understand? Make good songs and just be creative. Just
Yeah, I think it's a little bit because even Denmark, I was writing pop music. Before, dancehall was similar to pop music in the way where dancehall was a bit more simplified. You would have a man come on DJ, me know a girl named Pam, and people are like, but now it's like, hey, me nananita, me na vita, it's a little bit more, it's a bit more swaggy now. So this is why artists like Sean Paul constantly hit.
Yeah.
Sean Paul always makes sure he sticks to the fundamental, the basics, slow down. I know Jamaicans, we think we're the coolest people in the world.
We are.
But not everybody's understanding what we're saying. So Sean Paul basically
Articulate himself.
He slowed the patois down and have a rhythmic instrumental behind it. So now even if a person is not understanding what Sean Paul is saying, he already have them invested and they are already dancing. When you hear a trap dancehall song now, Jamaicans need to understand we will not be as good as the Americans at hip hop, even though a Jamaican, they say, created hip hop.
Yeah.
Cool Hertz.
Yeah.
I remember I ran into Lee Scratch Perry, one of the great producers from Jamaica. I ran into him in Denmark, and I said, "What the advice?" I remember he had a whole bunch of candles on the stage. I was the Lord God,
Yeah.
Lee have a bun down the place because he said, "Man, him doing thing different." And him and Ika Mouse, and I was saying to Lee, like, what you think as a young artist like me, what you what you think we can do better? He's saying just not make the music so complicated. He says it's not about impressing yourself because you're not making the music to listen to it yourself. He says, make the music so a child kid sing it. And that was something that really took me back to even where now I said to you. I just dropped my EP, by the way, Crowd Control. Go out there and stream my EP. These are all dance songs. I did some research and I looked at the tempos that people are reacting to. It's a mixture of reggaeton. And another funny thing, I got on like 130 playlists, and 102 of the playlists I got on was Afrobeat playlists. I only got on like 28 dancehall playlists because there's not so many big dancehall playlists on Spotify. So it just goes back to show you again that Afrobeats is dominating. So now my projects that I'm working on, it has to be a fusion of Afrobeat / dancehall.
Business before bullshit.
Yeah, Afrobeat makes you dance, man.
Yeah.
It's
Business
dancing.
before bullshit. I'm happy you came back, yeah? And have the time to explain the music.
Yeah, I'm glad I came back as well, man. I feel like I was on a soap opera. You know what I mean? Like I felt like a setup.
The first video was like a soap opera, as I said.
Yeah. I was like, crap. That was my first media experience of what not to do on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, how am I gonna tell that guy you can't put out that first part? Because the music is what I'm really
But
about.
I have you back and you're talking music, and is there anything else I'd like to say, sir?
Well, I think like I wish in Europe, because there's a lot of talented Jamaicans in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's affecting us is that ego that we bring from Jamaica still. Like, me cooler than you. Where the pan? So you will have a talented Jamaican over here who has the pieces to make you great, and you're over there missing that piece, but they don't collaborate. It's that same mentality of like, the Willie Lynch syndrome of, comparison and stuff. So that's why I kind of, I to be honest with you, I stayed away from the Jamaican culture in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I do it personally. I do it intentionally. Just stay away.
Yeah.
But as you said, I have to bridge that gap. I have to be the one who just say, listen, I have no problem reaching out now. If I see a Jamaican, like my two guests, they are good dancers, then I will reach out and say, yo, I'm having this event, come, I need you here, we do business together, you see me?
There's no events that Jamaicans run in Europe though.
We can do that.
Why not run an event in Europe?
I'm talking about like a show. Like you used to have like the Scandinavian Reggae Festival that was done by a Jamaican by the name of Super Mike. Those guys, Sky Juice Sound, they started reggae music in Denmark, and then the Danish guys did reggae, and they kind of pushed those guys out. Super Mike went back to Jamaica. A lot of people don't know, he used to bring up all the big artists and the sound system. Jamaicans don't own a nightclub. That's another reason why dancehall music is suffering. There's no place for that expression. Jamaicans are always trying to get a little piece of the pie. I think until we start owning venues, that's the big thing in Europe, brother. It's owning venues. It's getting in a venue. You can't go to a Jamaican party tonight. Nowhere here. It's not possible. There's nowhere for
then
you to
maybe
do it.
we should change that. Why not?
Definitely.
I have things to do. You understand? I have plans, but yeah.
But if you go to Stockholm, you would definitely be able to go to a reggae and dancehall event tonight.
In Stockholm?
Yeah, in Stockholm, definitely.
Okay.
Well, as I said, we keep in contact, yeah? Thank you for coming.
Listen, man, that's the word.
We have to straighten out the first video.
Yeah,
So now
man,
the first video straighten out.
Yeah, you try, yeah.
It is what it is.
Waterboard me, all of it.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Peace out.
Out.